Hi everyone, Boomer here in the Dream Giveaway Garage, and today we're here with Don Keefe from Poncho Perfection, and we wanted to spend a little time. Hi Don.
Great to see you, Boomer. Thanks for having me out.
Well, I'm glad you're here. It's great having you in the garage again. We wanted to bring you out today and just spend a little time with you, of course, and with this beautiful 79 Bandit Edition Trans Am. Wonderful car. This is a 36,000 original mile car. It's got 36,600 and some odd miles on it now. We have had the car repainted. The car's had a brand new stripe kit put on it. The interior is almost an all original interior, save for a few pieces. Tack works, speedo works, clock works, lighter works. Everything in this car works, so it's really cool. It's a neat, neat car.
Yeah, I was looking at the paperwork on the car, and the provenance of the vehicle is very, very complete. There's the original window sticker and some of the original paperwork from it, and the owner's manual and all that. So it's pretty well documented as to where it came from and what it is. So that's great.
Yeah, and of course this has got the 403 Olds motor in it.
Yep.
They weren't huge horsepower motors in these cars.
No.
I think they were 185 horse, give or take.
Well, and you know, in the context of today, you're looking at the difference between 220 horsepower and 185 horsepower, which is roughly what your average minivan's base motor will have. But the thing is, it's a wonderful example of the breed, and I think the condition, the low mileage, and the backstory on the car is really what makes it so special.
Oh yeah, and minivans have never been as cool as a 79 Trans Am with the big gold bird on the hood.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Of course, this is also a T-top car. All that rubber's been replaced. T-tops fit great. It doesn't leak. And one of the other really cool things about this car is the shaker scoop has been signed by Burt Reynolds.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
That's
this is really, really neat in the fact that it's got Burt's signature right there. It says Burt Reynolds Bandit right on the shaker scoop. Of course, that's all been clear coated over, so that's not going to wear off. It's going to be there for the life of this car. But just an amazing, amazing car. It runs well, it drives well, and just someone is going to get a fantastic car.
Yeah. And with just 36,000 miles on it, it's got to be, pretty much drives as new. So you're getting a little bit of a time warp factor here with the idea of it, driving like a new car, because it does.
Oh yeah. So we want you guys to get in on this, because obviously we want you to win this Trans Am. So go to dreamgiveaway.com, make a donation to charity, and you're going to get tickets to enter to win this car. But don't wait too long. This car goes away at the end of July. So you've got basically until right around the end of July to get your tickets in for this car. And then we are going to give it away. We're also going to pay the federal taxes on this car, which I think are $8,000. Oh, $17,500 I'm being told. So $17,500 on the car. And we'll pay those directly to the United States government. You don't have to worry about paying the tax on the car. We'll bring you here to Clearwater. We'll do a ceremony. I'll hand you the keys to this beautiful 79 Trans Am, and you get to take it home.
Fantastic. That's a hell of a deal. What are you going to do?
Yeah, it is. Hey, Don, it's a beautiful day out here in Florida today. So what do you say you and I get in the Trans Am and go out for a little ride?
You won't have to ask me twice.
All right, fantastic. All right. Okay, hey, we're out here now in the Trans Am, out in the beautiful Florida sunshine. And as you can see, the inside of this car is just as nice as the outside. The carpet in the car is brand new. Everything looks good. All the gauges work, your fuel works, your volts work. The air conditioner actually works in this car.
It's a good thing, especially in
Florida. Which is really cool. Yeah, so what we're probably gonna do is roll the windows up and actually turn the air conditioner on.
Oh, I feel cold air.
There we go. There it is. Of course, radio works in here too, which is amazing. T-tops look good. These T-tops were really bad about cracking. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And these are in perfect shape. So, and this car sounds really good too.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was talking with Chris about it as you were rumbling it out of the warehouse.
There's just something about these old Trans Ams, you know, looking across the hood and seeing the eagle and the big shaker scoop, and it's neat.
This makes you want to put a Deep Purple or Boston album on, you know. It's just...
Yeah, it does. You know, we got this car as a 36,000 mile original car. You know, we of course took it out and did a little bit of work to it just so that we wanted to refresh it. I mean, now you could take this car to a car show anywhere you want to. You can drive it. You can take it out with your friends. People, they fall all over this car. It's just so cool.
Yeah, and judging from under the hood, it looks like it would do pretty well even in a points judged situation.
Yeah, it's, I mean, I won't say that everything under the hood is exactly perfect, but you know what?
It's not too far off either.
It's not far off at all. And it's, you know, it's nice and clean. We've had that reshot up under there, so everything is real clean and tidy. Yeah, I mean, it's just a really, really neat car. It's so much fun to drive.
Yeah, and you know, considering the age of the vehicles, the handling on these is remarkably modern.
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the things that people don't really you know, think of. But you know, I've talked to guys that were like, you know, going from a newer car to one of these and go like, wow, this really is remarkable. I mean, you know, you can look at you know, even cars like the Impala SSs from the 90s. I mean, you know, they're also you know, similar front suspension system in those, and you know, it's held up very well over the years. And you know, all this technology, you know, General Motors got it right. You know, way back when, and you know, it's still viable today in a lot of respects.
And the neat thing is, this car is still feels super tight. It drives really well. I mean, there's not, you know how sometimes you start to get a little slop in the steering wheel. This one has absolutely none. I mean, it drives laser straight, and it really is like driving a brand new 79 Trans Am.
It's got nice rumble as you're driving around.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do believe that these are Flowmaster mufflers, so it's where you get that nice little sound from. Yeah, when we first got the car in, the tach and the clock weren't working. I wasn't sure what was going on, so I pulled all of this out, pulled all the gauges out, replaced the clock and the tach. So it's brand spanking new. Made sure it all worked. While I was back there, I replaced all the lights back there, so all of your dash lights work as they're supposed to.
Excellent.
Even the little light that you get for your drive indicator here,
oh, wow,
it still works.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's the little things in these cars. You know, when you get these older cars like this, you know, either whether you drive them or you don't drive them, they're going to break. Something's going to break. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, these classic cars they are what they are. But, you know, and if you just keep up with those little things as you move along in these cars, it makes it really easy. And they are really easy to work on. They're not that tough.
Yeah.
You know, usually it's a few hidden screws here and there, and you can pretty much take apart whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's sort of the charm of old car ownership, is even though it's, you know, you may have a fully restored car, you may have a Survivor that's very clean and original, whatever, there's always a little something that's going to need to be done. I mean, you know, wires fray, you know, things, rubber dries up, you know, those sorts of things. I mean, so you always have a little bit going on there, and that's kind of the fun of it, you know, going, you know, tracking down the parts, you know, be it a reproduction rubber stripping or trying to find an original shaker hood, or, you know, just, you know, whatever. You know, it's just a deal where, you know, it's a hobby, and these are hobby cars because there's always something to do on them.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's a great point. I mean, if you're in love with these cars, you know, you're gonna have to be at least a little mechanical. And if you're not, you can teach yourself. I mean, it's not that hard just to do some of the little replacement things on these cars.
Yeah, and they don't require any specialized tools or custom programming or anything like that. It's, you know, good old snap-on tools that are going to get you where you need to be or whatever, crafting or whatever. You're not going to need a laptop to do anything.
Yep, good hand tools and a voltmeter. You go a long way on these cars.
You're pretty much there.
All right, I tell you what. How about we switch seats and let you drive this bad boy?
That sounds great.
All right.
Oh, nice. Okay, I just got kind of a flood of memories here. When I was in college, my buddy Mike Bethea, and Mike, if you're out there, I still remember, he had a Rockford Firebird, an Esprit, same color and everything, neat car. And we used to go bombing around with that thing all over the place. And it was a fun car. Yeah, it only had a 305 in it, but it was a nice car. We had a lot of fun with it, and just the seating position and all that, and getting behind the wheel of this thing, you could really feel, wow. Getting back to the early 80s when I was in college.
So I mean, the car's still nice and tight.
It is. A lot of times when you get these cars with 100, 120,000 miles, I mean, it started to get a little rattle trappy. But this is nice and tight. This really does feel like a new car. I remember about a dozen or so years ago, I drove a friend's 66 GTO that had just been done, had been treated to a body off restoration. I was driving around. It had the bias ply tires on it and everything, and it drove like a brand new 1966 car. And you can really feel the difference in the technology from that era to this era. I mean, like I said, this is a much more modern feeling car, and it's all due to the front suspension and the tuning with the springs and shocks and sway bars and stuff. Pontiac's engineers, Herb Adams, he knew what he was doing, no doubt about it. And his team was very much race inspired, so they brought as much of that technology to the street as they could in it, and it's fared well over the years. It really has stood the test of time.
Oh yeah, I mean, back in the day, '79 when this car came out, I mean, it was a really good handling car for that time.
Yeah, you could get skid pads of over 0.8 Gs, which was pretty darn amazing, especially with the tire technology of the day. So, they definitely did their homework. And, skid pad isn't the only thing, but it's, the transients and all that are also very important. But still, just the fact that you could do that with a 2-ton car, in the late 1970s is, pretty remarkable by anyone's standard, So, hats off to those guys.
Oh yeah, and I mean these Trans Ams, I mean, thanks in large part to Burt Reynolds and the Smokey and the Bandit movies, have really kind of held their own over the years. Yeah. To start with, they're just neat looking cars.
Yeah.
They really are, from the shaker scoop to the bird to the gold striping, to the spoiler on the back. The gold dash, just really, really neat.
And it captured the imagination of a generation. I remember seeing Smokey and the Bandit at West Wayne Cinema in the summer of 1977, and just people went berserk.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember as we were leaving there, I was about 13 at the time, and everyone got in their cars and were doing burnouts in the parking lot, hooting and hollering and making all kinds of noise. And I thought to myself, wow, that movie really did, even as a young kid, I sensed the influence that it had. And it was the second highest grossing movie of that year after Star Wars, which was, So it's it was a real cultural phenomenon, and here we are, 40 some odd years later, still living it,
Oh, yeah.
So not a bad place to be in my estimation.
No, and it's fun to tool around in this car too, because people will look at you and they'll give you the thumbs up, and and they'll yell Smokey and the Bandit at you, and
yeah. And the fact that this car has a shaker scoop signed by the Bandit himself is a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah, that's a neat little touch for this car, So it's not just a Trans Am. It's a Trans Am signed by Burt Reynolds. You're just not going to find those much anymore, because I mean, with Burt being gone now, it's these things there's a limited supply of these things. We're going to turn it.
Ann and I had the opportunity to meet him through Dream Giveaways back in 2015 at the Auto Fest in Lakeland, and I've met a lot of famous people over the years, and meeting him, I was starstruck. I mean, he had such presence about him, and I was like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you." It was about all I could, get out of my mouth without stammering. It was really neat, and he was such a Southern gentleman. It's such a gracious man, and. We had prototype issues of our first issue of Poncho Perfection, and he autographed one of those prototype issues, which I still have, of course. And we got an autographed picture of him, and those are some of my most treasured possessions. And it was just a really neat thing that after all those years, I got to meet the Bandit. After seeing all those movies and just being such a huge fan. And I was going to ask him. I got kind of caught up in the moment. I never got a chance to ask him, but I wanted to know more about his involvement with that cartoon Archer when he played himself in it. I thought that was just hilarious. And but it was the thing about him. He was just so cool. He was really funny, and he just didn't take himself all that seriously. As far as his persona went. And a very, very serious actor, but still a fun, fun sort of personality.
Oh yeah, I mean, you take this. I mean, Burt Reynolds was a world-known superstar.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really was. I mean, his movie anthology over the years has been huge. A lot of the car guys remember him for Smokey and the Bandit, but there were so many other really neat things he did. Oh yeah,
WW and the Dixie Dance Kings.
Yeah, the Starkey movie. All the just some really cool stuff. And when you did get to meet him, like you were saying, he was a down to earth guy. You could have a conversation with him. He would take the time to really talk to you. It was, he was just a great guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, not a lot of the Hollywood types are great guys.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I'm loving it. I really am. This is a really neat moment for me because I usually spend most of my time behind the computer writing about cars. I don't have as much opportunity to actually get out there and drive them as I'd like, and so this was a very, very nice opportunity, and I'm very grateful that you guys brought me out here to talk about the car and get behind the wheel and bomb around town a little bit with it. This has been wonderful.
Oh yeah, well you're welcome out to the Dream Giveaway Garage anytime because we love having you in, and of course we've got some other really cool stuff coming up too. We're going to be launching another Pontiac here in the next couple of months. It's going to be really neat. You're going to really love that one. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you what it is yet. Can't tell you guys what it is yet. But when you see it come out, you'll understand.
Oh yeah.
The garage door's still open.
All right, we'll just roll
right back in.
Thank you so much, Boomer. I really appreciate the opportunity to get to drive such a nice car, and we'll definitely have some stuff on social media to show everyone that I got to drive this car, somebody's going to win a nice vehicle. There's no question about it.
So remember, go to dreamgiveaway.com, get your tickets. Don, it's been great having you in here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time in the Dream Giveaway Garage.